Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to Live Your Dreams. My name is Shelly-Ann Minta, and today we are talking about or asking ourselves the question, um, the hell am I doing anyways? Um, today's again we're checking in and just sharing how we are feeling in this moment. And I'm checking in today, feeling a little apprehensive and hopeful at the same time. Apprehension because um, I really want to share something with you that is a little serious. I've been getting a little serious lately because um, I want to help you also take those first steps of opening up and being authentic and maybe unpacking some of your baggage. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about getting into a subject matter that is so deep, but at the same time, I'm hoping that it will help you in the long run. So that's how I'm checking in. How are you checking in today? So, and I'm letting you know, and I'm writing it in the chat now. I'm letting you know that it's okay to feel a little bit apprehensive, a little bit afraid. Uh, Being authentic is not always easy. It's you're sort of burying yourself. Um, you're burying yourself before everybody, and they can see what's really inside of you. Um, so I want to just add here that as you join the chat, just check in on how you're feeling. Uh, and also, let me know who you are, which part of the North America you're coming from, and also let me know if you are watching this after the fact. So if this is a replay, so just type hashtag replay in the chat. Um, just getting some other order of business out of the way. Also, follow and like this video um, on Facebook. Also, follow and like on YouTube and subscribe to YouTube. And just to let you know that I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. So if you check me out on there as well. Uh, my Twitter feed is a little bit different these days. I'm taking a different approach, sort of speaking out against certain things that are happening in the health industry. That's what my Twitter is all about. And my Instagram, it really just has become a place where I talk about upcoming broadcasts that I'm doing, or and I just share information as well there. But the live feeds are on Facebook and on YouTube. That's where you're going to find all of the live feeds. And I've really been revamping things and trying new approaches. I noticed that most people they don't come on the live; they watch the replay, and I'm trying to find a way to get people to be on the live as well. But I'm not disappointed at all if people watch this after the fact. So, um, but I hope you are watching because I think that what I'm providing, if you're really going through what I think you're going through, some of you, this will help. And I always hoped that there was something out there for me in the past. I had hoped that I could find something or someone who would I could reach out to, or who would be there for me, or who would give me advice. And I never could find it. There was no one out there that could help me. But I'm here for you. And what I want you to know is that you can trust me. If you want to contact me and you want to talk or you want to send me something, I'm not going to share it without your permission. I give you that promise that unless you tell me that it's okay to share it, I'm not going to share it. And I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to make you feel as though you are weird or that you're not okay, you're not enough. I am always going to make you feel like you are enough and that you're okay and that it's not weird or strange. So reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me and talk to me because I'm here for you. So today we are talking about, what the hell am I doing anyways? And I see people drop in and they're dropping out. Stay a while, sit, chat. This is what this is all about. It's a two-way conversation. I want to be able to talk to people, not just talking to my camera because I mean, I've been doing that for a long time. Going live and doing these live broadcasts is a big step was a big step for me to overcome some of my fears of putting myself out there and being judged. And since I've done that, I continue to commit myself to be here. And I'm here because I really want to reach out to you and to talk to you. So if you are watching this after the fact, please come back next week, Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and to be on the live and to share your thoughts, your ideas, ask me some questions, and just participate. And let's just make this an interactive session instead of me just reaching out to you and not getting anything back. And and if it's after the fact, please ask questions, make comments. I want to hear from you. I love to hear from you. Okay, I want you to challenge me to 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 find answers for you or to give you answers. Anyhow, let's just get into what I want to talk about today because I want to respect my time limit here. Um, so many years ago, I had all of these dreams. I was young and idealistic, and I had all these dreams of traveling the world and doing volunteer work, helping others. I really love to help others. I love I love coming up with creative ideas or coming finding different ways to help people resolve situations. And the one thing I hate is to see people suffering. I cannot stand to see people suffering. I don't like to see people going through stuff. When I walk down the street in the city, I don't like what I see. I don't like to see people living on the streets, people hurting, people having addictions and going through all that stuff. It really gets to me. You'd think I'd get used to it because I live in a city, but I don't. Every time I see a homeless person, every time I see someone in a desperate situation, because some people are just mentally ill and they're walking around and you can tell they're they're at the mercy of their own mind. They're at the mercy of their own mind, and they're not getting help. And I always wondered, why don't people just reach out and get help? Why don't they just go? There's a whole bunch of organizations. What about their family? What about friends? Is there no one that can help these? So distraught. It makes me feel so distraught. And situation because I don't I don't want you to miss anything. So just give me a second. Strong. Um, it's still trying to figure out what it's doing here. I think it should be okay now. Hopefully, I'm gonna look back at this again just to make sure that everything is okay, because I really don't want you to miss this. And seriously, I don't think I can do this a second time. So, so that's why I want to make sure the connection is good. And I noticed it dropped out a couple of times. So here we go. So I think it's well understood where I'm coming from. There are people out there. Some of you can identify with what I'm talking about. You have a real heart for the downtrodden, for those that are suffering, for those that are going through stuff in their life. Um, I'm very, so there's some of you out there can identify. I'm a very empathic person. I can really understand and feel other people's uh, pain and their feelings and everything. And people tend to attract to me because I think they can sense that in me. I'm always walking down the street or sitting somewhere and someone's always coming over to talk to me. And for some reason, they open up and begin to tell me things that I sometimes wonder why this is so personal. But I guess I give off that, that, for lack of a better word, that aura. They call it aura, but I don't really believe in that. It's more like a vibe, maybe. I give off something. There's something that that shows them in some way, or they feel some way that I'm somebody that they can talk to and they'll understand. And so I have this dynamic going on where I really care about people and I really feel their situation, and also people come to me and I take on everything. And I had to learn not to. I had to learn how to deal with something, put it away, and not internalize it, because you cannot take on everybody's issues and all of the things that are going on with them, because that would just break you down, right? So I've learned to do that along the years. So that's the kind of person I am. So I really wanted to go out there in the world and really do something, make a change and do something different. Just somehow change the world, make it a better place. And that was my dream. But then I met someone, and I always also wanted to have a family, because the family that I grew up in was so dysfunctional. And I guess naturally, when people have families that are less than ideal, then somehow, either subconsciously or consciously, they say to themselves that I am going to do things different. My family is not going to be that way. I am not going to marry the wrong person. I'm going to marry the right guy. I'm going to have this really great family. I'm going to be a great mother or father. If you didn't have if you had a substandard parents, then yeah, then you're going to be different. You're going to be the greatest parent ever, right? People go through these psychological things. So my family was not really the greatest. So I figured I'm going to raise a world-winning family. I'm going to have a great husband, I'm going to be a great mom. I'm not going to neglect my kids or not be there for them. I didn't want them to experience what I experienced, which is like to go through all of your school life with your parents never even coming to one of the parent teacher night, or come to see you perform in a school play or accept an award or anything, right? I wanted to be the kind of mother that was going to be there for her child and be involved and show her child that I care and that I'm proud of my child. So when I met this guy, I thought he was the greatest, and I decided to settle down and get married. And at first, everything was sort of okay, because when you first fall for somebody and you get married, you live in this dream-like state where you're in this euphoric state where you think everything is so perfect and beautiful and nothing can go wrong. So you just sort of tell yourself, even when you're seeing stuff, that everything is just great. You lie to yourself almost, because you want it so much that you're trying to make it real. And so that happened, and little by little, things started to go downhill. And it's subtle little things that you notice. Okay, first of all, the one thing that I noticed is that everything that I thought this person was, he wasn't. I began to realize that he had deceived me, lied to me about who he was and what he believed in. And so there was conflict. There's always going to be conflict, because you want to get into a relationship with somebody that has the same values as you and that you're compatible with. So that's why you get to know them. But if they lied, and you're getting married or you're getting into a relationship with somebody that is just a figment of your imagination. They're not real, because that's not who you don't really know who this person is. So I I think it was like the first night, like the honeymoon, where I began to see things. Um, and I just told myself, "Oh, I'm in this. I guess I I can back out now." But in retrospect, I should have probably just gone and get an annulment, right? And it'll go away like it never happened. But I had such high values for marriage. I was always taught that marriage um, was something sacred, and so you can't jump in and out of it. I didn't have people in my life to give me the right advice. So I'm hoping that I could be that person for you. If you are in a relationship you got into and this person lied to you about who they are, and now you are married to this person, or um, you are in you're seeing them, or you're dating them or whatever, and you could see that who they thought you who you thought they were, they're not that person, there's something completely different. um, you need to pay attention to those red flags, and you need to do something while it's not too late. If it's in the early stages, you should annul and get out. Or if you're dating, get out, get the hell out. If you begin to see some warning signs that scare you, or things that are not right, why the hell are you doing this? Ask yourself the question, why the hell are you doing this? Why are you still involved in something? And then it really starts to make you feel very unhappy. You yourself know that you're not happy and that it's not for you, but you're still doing it anyways. um, I would like to put forward that in those situations, it's trauma in your life that is causing you to stay in something that is less than ideal, and in fact that is destroying you. Trauma causes people to act and behave in a certain way that deep down inside they know they shouldn't be acting that way. You're actually telling yourself, asking yourself the question, but you're dismissing the answer, right? You know something is wrong. You know, it's like you can't help yourself. It's like you're a moth, you know, flying towards the flame, and you just can't stop yourself anyways. So we know the warning signs. We know, we begin to see that this person's lying. They said they were this, but they're not that. Okay, they said that they have money, and that they're and they don't. And not that you're going after them for money, but you want somebody that's stable and maybe that has a good income, and then you find out they don't have an income, that you probably have to take care of them. Okay, they said that they're educated, and you find out that they're not. Um, if you believe in 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 something and you're living towards those goals, they tell you they are too, and then you find out no, they're not. They're fundamentally different. And so I started to see that, and there started to be friction. And then from friction became a situation that was very abusive. And because of my prior life, I didn't react in the right way to that abusive situation, because it was so normalized. I had lived in a home where things were not as they should be. Um, I lived in a very abusive home, and so, I mean, where I witnessed um, my mother being abused, and I also suffered abuse, and my brother suffered abuse. It was just a very abusive home. Okay. So when I started to see things like especially if it's not at the same level that you're used to, so your tolerance for abuse is very high. So when somebody starts to abuse you, you don't react the way you should. You kind of tolerate it because it still hasn't gotten to the level that you had experienced in your prior life, right? And so you wait it out, and you don't start reacting until that person gets to the level that makes you feel uncomfortable, which is maybe at that point that person, maybe they have hit you, or they start to verbally abuse you, or they start to control you, and if you don't do what they say, they go into fits of rage. So this is what I was living. um I was being controlled, and that because I'm a very independent person, and I had all these dreams of traveling and all this, and helping people, and I had this independent spirit. I would not give in to the control. And so this person that I married would get abusive. They would become extremely angry, fits of anger, and I became very afraid. Um, and it went from something verbal to emotional, and a couple of times even physical. And I still put up with it for 20 something years. So it wasn't until I asked myself the question, the hell am I doing anyways? Why am I doing this? I just realized I don't have to. Yes, I have these ideas about marriage, and I think that marriage is sacred, but this is not marriage. It's supposed to be a partnership where two people are on equal ground, and they work with and help each other. They love each other. They have similar goals, and they have similar values, and they like I said, there's a great respect for one another. uh, and one does not destroy a person that they care or love. uh, Somebody who does that and then turn around and tell you 5 minutes later that they love you, they are they have a very skewed and very unhealthy understanding of what love is. Somebody can hit you, kick you, punch you, verbally abuse you, and then turn around and say they love you. And once, okay, maybe once is a mistake, but if it's on a continuous basis, it's not a mistake. That is that person's character. That's who they are. Um, I didn't realize that the person that I was living with was a narcissist until after the fact, after I had gotten out. And so I was very confused most of the time because one minute I would be verbally abused, um, and so many times I was betrayed. He was just very unfaithful to me. But then he would apologize, and then he would do such wonderful things for me. And so I couldn't understand, was he a good person or a bad person? Maybe he's just me. Maybe I'm the one who has to change. And so I worked very hard at becoming somebody that I wasn't. Um, and I'm talking about career wise as well. I pushed myself up the ladder. Um, I, up until the middle of my 40s, I worked out and tried to keep myself slim, and I was very careful about how I looked, because I kept thinking it was me. Maybe if I'm slimmer, maybe if I'm if I'm more attractive, maybe if I work harder, maybe if I make more money, whatever, then maybe he would love me and he would stop abusing me. And that never changed. Okay, it didn't make a difference until I got into a point where I realized that it wasn't going to change, and I was working so much and putting so much effort into moving up the ladder and becoming um, financially stable and affluent, so that, because deep down inside me, I knew if I couldn't stand on my own 2 feet, I wouldn't survive. Deep down inside, I knew I had to leave. I knew I had to get away from this person. And in order to do so, financially, I had to be sound. So I was playing out something that I didn't know I was playing out. I didn't realize I was working so hard to get where I was going. I thought I was doing it because I wanted to please him. And at first that was the case, because that's what he wanted. But then I realized that if I'm independent and if I'm making a lot of money, I would be okay. So it's that conflict was going on. But at the same time, I wasn't healthy, and I wasn't really dealing with what I was going through. And so I neglected certain things, and I began to sabotage myself by spending too much time working, paying too much attention to, giving work too much of my attention. And I started to live for other people. Like, I was just focused on my kids and making sure they were okay. And at some point, I started to neglect myself. And that's when the weight started to pack on. And the stress, because I was pushing myself so hard to succeed, the stress, and the not getting enough sleep, it had caught up to me. In other words, all the stuff had caught up to me, and I was not in a good place, and I didn't even know it until I started to have health issues. And then I finally had an accident that opened my eyes. I got up one morning, and I was rushing around trying to do a million things at once, which is what I always do, because I have to be perfect. I have to get everything done. Everything has to line up. I have to, ensure that this is done and that is done. And I was running around, rushing as normally would, and I fell down the stairs and injured my back, my hip, my coccyx, and I put myself out of commission for 6 months. I had a contract with the airport, bringing in very lucrative salary, and my contract was canceled because I could not fulfill the terms of the contract. And so here I was, bedridden, without a steady income coming in, just living off of whatever I had there, and in the middle of a crisis, because it was during this time, it was at around that time that I realized that The relationship was that I was in was toxic. It was killing me. I I was killing myself. It was killing me, and I really didn't want to do it anymore. So all of this was coming down at once on me, and I had to do something about it. So eventually, after going through a lot of depression and hardship and struggle, I decided to get well, and I decided to get out. And it's not as simple as I just put it. It was a struggle, and there's more to it than that. But eventually, that's what happened. I had to get up out of bed. I had to learn to walk again, literally. Go through therapy, physical therapy. I had to, and I had to get out of this relationship. I had to stop doing what I was doing. Um, and quite literally, all the trauma that I was going through for 20 something years just came on me, and all the trauma from childhood, everything just came down on top of me all at once. And I had to deal with all that as well. And I worked my way through. I did get healthy. That's the good that's the that's the good part of the story. That's the good news, is that I did get healthy. I did bounce back. I it took a while. Um my body had to go through a healing process. I had to, wait for swelling to go down, but I worked it, and then I got back into shape. I got back to the fitness level that I was before. Eventually, after many years, it took years to turn around. Because first I had to recover, and then start, getting back to that fitness level again. And I also had to leave that relationship, and I thought that it was going to be a separation, and that um, maybe by doing this he would get help. But if a narcissist isn't helped at a young age, there's nothing you could do for them. I know this is hard to hear, but if you're living with a person with a narcissistic personality, somebody um, that doesn't have any empathy for others, somebody that is uh, manipulative, they lie to you, and they send your mind on a roller coaster up and down, all over the place. Your emotions are everywhere, because one minute they love you, next minute they hate you. One minute they're pleading with you that they need you and they can't do it without you, and the next minute they're they're yelling profanities at you, getting violent, and you know grabbing a kitchen knife, or banging their hands on the table, screaming at the top of their lungs, threatening you, um, and in some cases stepping out on you and sleeping around with other women, blaming you for it, or in the case of a woman, sleeping with other men, blaming you for it. Every day's up and down with them. I mean, these are some of the signs of a narcissistic personality. Okay, and if you are in that situation and you think you could change that person, you can't. They need intense therapy. And once, and like I said, it's easier to help people like that when they're young. When they get older and they're adults, and that thing sets in and becomes part of who they are, uh, it's a miracle if they come out of it. They never think they need help, because they always blame others and for everything, you and other people for everything. They never take responsibility, and they don't think anything's wrong with them. You cannot help them. You can't change them. And staying in that relationship with them is only going to kill you. You need help. You need to get out of that. You need to reach out. There are lots of groups out there now. And I am also here to help you. Okay. So I'm doing this because um, I want people to live their lives and be happy. Part of that is being healthy. A huge part of that is being healthy. If you are not healthy, you cannot live a full life. If you are not healthy, you don't have the strength, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, to deal with things. Um, you need to get healthy mentally. You need to take care of what's going on in here. I talk a lot about that on this broadcast, of how, how people, like the trauma, it resets your mind, and it rewires your brain, and so you don't think the way that you used to before. You become a different person. Your reaction for things to things are different. Your mind has been programmed to deal with this trauma, and every time come into a situation that is similar, or that seems as though it's happening again, you get triggered, and you replay that situation again, and then your your mind has already programmed a reaction to it, and so now you're on automatic mode. Your prefrontal cortex, which is here, is hijacked, okay, by this part of your brain over here. It hijacks your prefrontal cortex, your ability to think and make decisions and do things. And it's all because this part of your brain is sending signals that you need. That, remember that fight or flight mode? You can go back in other um, prior broadcasts, and you can find out how what fear how fear makes you react, and that there's this flight of fight or flight mode that you get into. And so this whole thing starts to play out. I'm not going to go into the extreme details, but you get the picture, right? And you start to react and do things in a certain way that you don't even want to anymore. And some of it is eating. A lot of people just eat. You just so stressed out, so overwhelmed by the situation, you eat. And if you have gone through something like that, and you're even living it, when you go to work, it's worse, especially if you have a high stress job, because now you're being triggered every 5 minutes. You're getting the feelings that you usually feel when you're panicked, or when you're afraid, or when you're tense, or you're anxious. You're getting those feelings from different things that's going on throughout the day. And in some cases, how you react is you shut down, or you run. That's the freezing, okay? The freezing is just shutting down, or you run, you try to get out of things, try to get out. You escape either physically, or emotionally, or mentally. Um, some of you underperformers that used to be superstars, that's you. You just back out. Or you find a coping mechanism, like eating greasy, salty foods to comfort yourself. Um, you don't care for yourself very much, because you get to a point where, even though you're still functioning, you're like a zombie. You're like a living dead. You're doing all this stuff, but inside you're dead. So you're not putting in the effort that you need to put in to help yourself anymore, and to do the right things. And your job isn't helping you. And you're at the place where you're sort of um your things are just playing themselves out, and it's like if you're watching a movie. You're watching yourself slowly break down, and slowly get to a point where your life is at risk. um and people don't understand trauma. They think trauma has to be some big thing, like you saw somebody get shot, or you saw somebody get hit by a car. No, You can have small little traumas that build up over time. Little things like somebody, your parents told you that you're too fat, or you're not as pretty as your sister, or you know you don't really look good in clothes because you don't have a body for it, or just what little things, little messages, or just sometimes not even verbal messages, like body mess, like they send you a message with their body language, or not non-verbal cues that they give you, um or just stuff like you depended on somebody, you trusted somebody, and they left you, and so you're alone. That traumatized you. You don't know what it is that's going on inside of your brain. Your brain, your body, your whole system is trying to work to protect you, and it doesn't know how to do it except how it knows. It can't judge the different kind of things. Like I said, everything looks the same to your brain. um you you know, we talked about running from a bear coming after you, or having to give that presentation when you haven't been prepared. It's fair, and your brain can't judge the different kind of fears. Your brain can't judge the different kind of things that traumatize you or that make you anxious. It, so it just tends to overreact sometimes. And we talked about all of those chemicals that just start flooding your body, and your brain just begins to send those chemicals, and it's telling you to do things to protect yourself, and then your whole system and everything gets hijacked, and you begin to react. So this is a bad place to be, but there's hope. You can turn things around. You can rewire how your brain works. You can heal that trauma. um, you know, to care, carefully, carefully put together a carefully put together system. You can overcome all of these things that's plaguing you, and the outcome is that you can be healthy again. When you begin to deal with it, you can begin um, to 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 set goals for yourself, goals that you know that you can attain, and you can attain those goals without self-sabotaging um, and getting in the way of your own success. You can do it. You can turn things around. You can get over those hurts and those pains and begin to enjoy life again. And you can begin to live a more healthier, productive life. You don't have to stay there. You can move forward. So today, you really need to ask yourself, what the hell am I doing, anyways? Why are you still sitting there, stuck in that thing, and you have the ability to get out? It doesn't matter what it is, if it's financial, or if you think that you can't make it on your own, or whatever it is we tell ourselves to keep us trapped in situations that is really destructive. It doesn't matter what excuse you give. There is a way. There is always a way. You have no idea what I had to do to get out of my situation, or what hardships I had to go through, and it's still going through. But for me, it's still worth it, even though it's painful and it's difficult. It's still worth it. And if you have somebody with you on this journey that can help you, and that has been there before, and that has to have that, and that has the tools, that have, they have the tools and the skill set to help you, and they have a system that works, and they're with you all the way through, mentoring you, coaching you, being there for you as your cheerleader, facilitating your decisions, and just helping you navigate the very treacherous waters so that you can attain the life that you want and be more happy and productive and have some peace in your life, then it's even better. It's less painful and it's a whole lot more productive. And so I want to be there for you. I'm here for you. And now you know my reasons. I've over the past couple of weeks, I've been giving you my reasons why I'm doing this. Because I don't want you to think that um, well, she's just trying to sell me some quick fix product, or she wants to get me into some quick fix scheme, or oh, there we go, another health coach again. Oh, and another life coach. Um, I want you to know that my motivation isn't just to give you some system or some program, or make you promises that won't come to fruition. I want you to know that I really care because I've been there and I know the pain. And I had to fight my way back to some form of life. I was broken, and I had to put my life back together again. And I know how hard it is, and I didn't have the help that I needed, and I didn't have somebody to do for you what I want to do for you. So whatever your goals are, uh, one of them, if you're overweight, is you need to take off that weight, because um, if you go back to other broadcasts, you'll understand why the weight is most of the time like 90% of your health issues, whether it be heart disease or high blood pressure, all the stuff. When you take off the weight, I would say most of the time, um, it helps to alleviate those issues. Okay, it's like a uh, one fix all type of approach to health. That's that is the first big step. Some people just, once they take off the weight, they naturally just become well again. Um, it never hurts and it always helps. So taking off the weight is paramount. And if you want to get into some kind of a fitness and you want to become an athlete, become more athletic, like I do, you can pursue that as well and become stronger. And and it's not about being a fitness model, but that's some of the outcomes too. Your body will begin to look much better, and you don't have to become a fitness model, but if that's what you want to do, you could do that too, if that's your goal. But to be stronger, to feel stronger, to have more energy, and to live longer, because it eliminates those illnesses and prolongs your life, I think that's a win-win situation. And I'm just talking to you on the real that it can happen for you if that's what you want. And you can deal with your trauma and make your decision as to what you want to do with your life. Uh, it's totally up to you. You want to change your lifestyle, change how you live, and make better decisions. I'm there for you as well. I take a holistic approach to healing. It's the body, it's the mind, it's soul. And it's not a whole lot of that hoo-ah that people do, light a candle and inhale. Like, all of that is really beautiful and that's great for relaxation and stuff. And I am gifted in those areas as well. But at the end of the day, if if they don't transform your life, if you are not becoming the best of who you should be, then it's all for nothing. Doing the yoga poses, or relaxation, or exercising, or all the things you're doing, if it's not transforming you and getting to the root of your problems, then you're just putting a band-aid on the whole thing. So it's a complete and holistic approach to your life, and a complete overhaul of your life, and and to bring you to the place that you want to be. Now, this is a very long broadcast. I understand that. Usually I don't go this long, but I really wanted to share this story with you and to show you that I'm real. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I'm real, and I had to use some of these methods, the same methods that I have in my arsenal to help myself. I had to reach out to others who had the tools to teach me how to do it. I had to study, I had to dig, I had to research, I had to do everything in my power to make a change. And it wasn't easy. But you have me. So you are one step ahead of me. I'm here for you, and I want you to reach out to me. If you don't want to make a commitment, that's fine. Just reach out to me anyways and talk to me. Let me be that person for you that I never had. And if you decide you want to work with me, I'm not going to pressure you. This is not a like a pressure sale. Like, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to help you. I do give a free consultation. It's a strategy session where we sit down and we talk about what's going on in your life, and I give you an approach. I tell you what I do in more details, and you can walk away with some sort of a plan. And if you decide you want to continue to work with me, you can. If not, you walk away, and I'm telling you, from that first session, you will walk away with more insight, and you will have so many aha moments, as I call them, that it would be incredible. I know, because I was my first client. I had to get all of these methods and try to work with them. And I wish I had somebody like me to walk me through the process and to help me. So anyways, I'm here for you. And I did this especially for IT people because that's my background. And so I really know how stressful that job is, and how it can really destroy your life if you don't take the steps to prevent that from happening, because it is a very high stress job and it's very demanding. But I'm here for anybody that wants to reach out to me. It's just that I have a special insight on people that are in high tech jobs, and because I understand what they're going through, I'm able to approach things in a way that and I understand, have more insight, like I said, in what they're going through, and how to deal with it and how to approach it. So I specialize with people that work in the high tech industry. But uh, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you're not. If you're just in a high stress job and it's something other than that, I'm here too. I'm here to help you. So book an appointment with me at calendly.com/affinity dreams. We book a free appointment. There's no charge. You're like, I should have had you at free. Okay, it's free, and it's just a chat. Okay. So anyhow, that's all for today. This was a very serious session. It went a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I needed to just get that out there so you could understand where I'm coming from. Anyhow, my name is Shelly Ann, and I will be on live again next week at 2:30. I'm here 2:30 every single Saturday. I'm here talking to you live. I would like you to join me, but if you're looking at this after the fact, then type #replay. And please, if you have any questions, concerns, or if there's anything that you would want me to talk about or address, please let me know, and I will deal with it in some upcoming broadcasts. Anyhow, It's almost an hour that I've been on. So I think that we will just end it here today and pick it up again next week. I love you all you Affinity Dreamers that are part of my dream team, all of you that are supporting and that continue to share this video. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. I hope that you're watching all the way through so that you can hear me, so that I can put some love on you, because there are some people out there that are just continuously, like I said, just liking and then sharing the video after. And I truly do appreciate it. So I will see you next week, same time, same place. Peace out. Bye, everybody.